This week on the Digital Coffee, Instagram has gone a little bit botty. Facebook is going to give you 3 ways to choose to view the feed, and Instagram is going to crack down on influencers. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. Wouldn't it be nice if Instagram made it a little bit easier for you to handle customer service on their network? And here we're talking about bots, because if you think about it, on Facebook, if you're an e-commerce business, for example, you can get people to ask for a reminder when a product comes into stock. So as soon as it comes in, they may buy it. You can send dispatch notifications. You can send delivery notifications. From a marketing point of view, you can do things like competitions. You can run a chatbot which will help people choose what gift they want to buy or what product they want to buy. It really is a fabulous system. And this week, Facebook has said they're going to roll out chatbots to Instagram. And I was talking to Sacha from Think Outside the Bot about this, just to get her view on it, to make sure I got everything clear. And the first thing she said is to remember that not everyone uses Facebook. Not every business is on Facebook, but actually, more importantly, not every person is on Facebook. They may want to do their shopping through Instagram. And without having the bot there, we could be leaving leads hanging. So by integrating just a shopping bot that will help people and let people know what's going on with their order could be massive. But also she was saying things like competitions. There's no good, easy way to run a competition on Instagram at the moment. That's part of the Instagram ecosystem. A chatbot can help with that. And that's a great way to grow an email list, to get people excited about your products. So the thing we don't know is we don't know whether you're going to be able to integrate your existing chatbot from Facebook into Instagram. It is working with partners like ManyChat, which is what I use for my chatbot. We don't know if you're going to be able to do everything that you can on Facebook with Instagram chatbots. We're going to have to wait to see. And I will, of course, bring you updates as I get them. If people had to choose just 30 people and pages that they could connect with on Facebook, would your page be one of those pages? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out because Facebook is releasing a new update where you will be able to choose your feed. And there's going to be 3 options. The first one is the home feed, and that's what we have already. That is going to be the algorithmically ordered and filtered feed that we're used to seeing on Facebook. The second one is going to be recent, which is exactly the same content. It's algorithmically selected, but it's going to be in reverse chronological order, which means just the newest posts will be at the top. It will be in the order that they were posted. Lots of people have been looking for this without the algorithm involved, but I think you'd be kind of scared if you saw what you get if the algorithm didn't filter out stuff. And the third one, and this is the one that I think is most important for us, is favorites. And what favorites will do is it will ask someone to select up to 30 people or pages to put on their favorites list. And that's what you'll see when you click into the favorites feed. And I can see this being quite popular. I can see myself using this as well, so that I'm seeing the updates from the people that I really care about and the pages that I really care about. But from a business point of view, are people really going to want to add us to their favorites? Are they going to want to knock a friend off that list to add us? And I know what's going to happen. And I think you have to be really careful if you're going to do this. Lots of businesses are going to go out there, going to make little graphics and little videos showing you how you could add your page to their favorites. But I think before you do that, you need to think this through. Firstly, are you favorite worthy? If somebody chooses your page to go onto their favorites, Is it because they want to see your content? Is your content good enough? If it's going to be popping up in that feed every single day, you're going to have to make sure every post that you put up is epic. You're going to need to tell people why they should subscribe to your page, why they should put it in their favorites, what is the benefit to them. And thirdly, you're going to have to avoid putting up too much product stuff, because nobody's going to put something in their favorites that is just ads. They don't want to favorite something that is like the back page of a free sheet newspaper that is all ads. So you're going to have to be very careful about how you deal with that. So if you are putting up a post asking someone to add you to their favorites, be aware you're gazumping one of their friends. And secondly, tell them what it is that they're going to get. So I'm not sure I'd put up a post like that, but if I wanted you to add you to my favorites, it could be because you want to watch this show, for example. I think it's going to be a tricky one. Obviously, why are Facebook doing this? Why are Facebook doing this? Because that gives them 3 feeds, that gives them more advertising space, and it will also help them understand user behavior better. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat, Facebook and Instagram are giving us new tools, and that doesn't rhyme at all. Facebook and Instagram are giving us some new tools which should help make it a lot easier for us to actually sell over the Christmas period. Now, this is related to shopping. A lot of what we're talking about is related to shopping. And these are, firstly, new ad tools. On Instagram at the moment, if you wanted to advertise a post, or if you wanted to set up an ad and have product tags actually in the ad, so they're the things you can click and it will bring you to the product page, you would have to actually set that up as an organic post and then either click the promote button on Instagram or go to Ads Manager and set up an ad with that. But now you'll be able to actually set up the ad within Ads Manager and tag the products within Ads Manager. And this is brilliant because it means you'll be able to create different variations of your product post. It will mean that you will be able to have different posts rather than saturating your Instagram with those posts. You'll be able to have different versions of your posts with different products for different people within Ads Manager. So it will show to people, but it won't be hundreds of them sitting on your feed. I think this could be really effective. And of course, it will drive more sales because people will be able to click on those product tags. The second thing they're doing, more audiences. So audiences are the group of people that you advertise to on Facebook. And we have lots of choices already, but there's going to be 2 more. The first one is going to be an audience, and I think we've discussed this before when it was in the planning stage, of people who've engaged with your shop. So you engaged, they could have clicked into a product, and this will be your Facebook and Instagram shop. People who've clicked into a product, people who put something in their basket, they'll all go into this audience. So those people are really ripe for retargeting. So we'll be able to send ads to them saying, hey, you were looking at our shop. Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy it? Please buy it. I thought you wanted to buy it. Why didn't you buy it? They're actually more effective than I just made it sound. The second type of audience is going to be a new type of lookalike audience. So lookalike audiences are based on your core audiences. So something like if you had an audience of people who'd engaged with your Facebook and Instagram shop, you'd be able to create a lookalike. And what this is 1% of the population of the country that you want to target. And Facebook will identify those people that are closest to the people that are in your core audience. And actually, they're highly effective. Sometimes they will, a lot of the times, they will beat interest-based audiences. They're really effective. But this new audience will only contain people who are shoppers. So there'll be people who are very similar to the people who have engaged with your shop or visited your website, but they'll be only the people who actually partake in online shopping. So a really good audience for you to target. The downside, I think, of that is that it's going to be in Ireland. So for those of you that watch in Ireland, which is a lot of you that are watching live, we're a very small population. So 1% of the population may seem huge, but actually compared to the US or even the UK, that's a very small audience. And I think a lot of people are going to be competing to reach that audience over the Christmas period. So my advice to you would be to set up that audience now and start targeting them with softer content now, so that you're building up your warmer audience, which would be the people who've engaged with your shop or the people who visited your website, so that you can sell to them in maybe a couple of days' time or a week's time because they know about you already. Don't leave it till the end of November or the middle of November or even next week. I would set up and start some sort of ad to those people right away. There's one more thing. There is one more thing. And that one more thing is only for the US, but we hope it will roll out to us soon. It is a new discount section within Commerce Manager. And that's when you have your Facebook shop and Instagram shop attached. This is where you manage those. This is going to be called discounts. And it's similar to what you get in offers, except you're able to be more specific about discounts. So for example, if you spend €100, you get €10 off. You'd be able to set up a special discount for that, and Facebook would work through that with the automation. So that's going to be a really interesting tool, and I do hope it comes to us soon. Facebook wants you to get to know your neighbours better. They do. I think in this pandemic world that we're living in, that we want to get closer to our local community. We want to get closer to our neighbours. There is that, this is probably the positive side of the pandemic, that we are getting to know and look after each other better. Now, Facebook have noticed this trend and they intend to exploit it. What they're testing it in Calgary in Canada, I think at the moment. It's going to be micro social networks based on your locality. So I'm not sure how big or small there's going to be. Are you going to be able to have one for your street, your estate, or is it going to be your whole town? But these are going to be little micro social networks off the main Facebook where you can engage with those people specifically. And interestingly, there's a tool that does this already called Neighbourhood. Now, I've only heard American people talking about this. I'm not sure how much further it's branched out. And that's actually been growing massively. So Facebook are doing their thing where they steal someone else's idea. But when you think about it, this is a smart move. Now, if you want to connect with your neighbours, you're probably already using something like WhatsApp. I know a lot of people would have a community WhatsApp. This is going to be a different and another solution, and maybe you'll get less notifications because I'm constantly having to mute those groups. But when you think about it from a business point of view, and this is what I think we can learn from, they've been smart. They've identified a trend in their business, a trend in social networking. Part of that's going to come from the use of WhatsApp. They'll have seen the Neighbourhood app grow. Secondly, they've looked at how they can exploit this. So they've done this and they've said, right, let's create these micro social networks. They've seen the problem, and the problem is that people on Facebook may not want to connect with their neighbour because their neighbour can spy on their Facebook account. So something they've done is that you're only going to be able to see a small amount of information about the people you connect to, not their full Facebook profile. It's going to be slightly off. Fourthly, they also know that they need to expand. They need to constantly expand their user base so that they have more space for ads and more space to sell. We've seen them do this with colleges. So they've already got little networks like these for college campuses. They're doing this for the neighborhood because this will bring, I would say, inactive and dormant users and those last few outliers who don't use Facebook back into the network. So I think this is really smart. What we're going to learn from it is not that we want to connect with our neighbours, but also how could we utilise trends in our own business. And also, obviously, as businesses, if we service local people, we want to get involved in these groups. I think influencer marketing gets a really bad rap. I think, a lot of people hear the word influencer and they're like, no, go away. I don't want to know about influencers. But actually, influencer marketing can be a hugely effective way to build an audience, to get brand awareness, to sell. I would err towards using it to build your audiences because otherwise it's a one-off hit that you're getting from the influencer. But I still think it's a really effective thing to do. People like to use the term creator instead of influencer to avoid that. But we all know what we're talking about with influencer marketing. The problem, of course, is that a lot of influencers aren't 100% clear with their disclosures. And as a business, you might think this is a win-win. Well, I don't mind if the influencer doesn't say it's an ad or sponsored or SponCon, I don't mind. I don't mind. Maybe more people will be interested because they won't think I'm paying her. Well, actually, it's bad for you and it's bad for the influencer, because if they get caught, the backlash is going to come to you as well. So it's important when you're working with influencers that disclosure is upfront. And unfortunately, a lot of influencers don't disclose properly. Instagram wants to fix this. So what it's doing is it is going to, when somebody starts creating a post and they feel like it might be a sponsored post, it's going to ask the influencer, a little thing's going to pop up, were you paid for this post? And I think that will at least make an influencer think twice about adding the correct disclosures. And they do have like a tool, a brand collaboration tool, where you tag the brand, proper way of disclosing. And of course, in particular regions, you need to add hashtags as well. The second thing they're going to do is they reckon their algorithm will be able to hunt down this non-disclosed content, and they'll actually contact the brand that has hired, or the business that has hired that influencer. So it will be the business's responsibility as well. So I think clear rule for working with influencers: make sure they disclose. It's on you as well as them. And by disclosing, they can't just, one thing that a lot of people will do is they put the hashtag way down the bottom of the post. It needs to go right at the beginning. You need to declare straight away that this is a sponsored post. So you just put in the hashtag, whatever hashtag is relevant to wherever you're working from, and make sure that's right at the top. If your influencer isn't disclosing, tell them they have to. Tell them they have to. It will work out better for you in the long run. Snapchat is growing again. Snapchat is growing, and it's taking a hint from Facebook and stealing other people's ideas. This week, it has launched Instagram, Snapchat Sounds. Snapchat Sounds. And what this is basically TikTok. When you go into Snapchat now, you will see in the camera, which I put on the screen again, in the camera on the right hand side, there's a little musical icon, a musical note icon. And when you click on that, you will be able to select a song or music that you want to add. And it's all really TikTok-y music, like nothing that would appeal to me. I just realized I'm getting old. That's it. I'm getting old. And at the top, you'll also have the option to add in your own sound. So when you start your snap, the music will play over the top of your snap if you choose it at the beginning, or you can add it afterwards as well. And you can choose the little piece of the music that you want to use in your snap as well, which means that you'll be able to create multiple snaps with the same soundtrack playing over the bottom. So multiple shots, same soundtrack. Very TikTok-y. I think I would like Snapchat to get the momentum from TikTok maybe losing users because of all the recent scandal and legislation. I kind of would like Snapchat to get that rather than Facebook. So I am kind of happy to see their user numbers grow. But actually what I'd like even more is for TikTok to get out of hot water, because where I used to not be a fan, I do think that as a social network, trying to steal it away from the younger people that use it will never end well. A report from Google that has just come out, which is full of fascinating information about how shopping trends have changed in 2020. Fascinating if you're working with a company, fascinating if you're doing shopping yourself, even more fascinating if you have an online shop. The first thing is, I need my notes for this because there's lots of statistics. First thing is, Cyber Monday is going to be a month-long event. So if you were waiting for Cyber Monday to happen, no, don't. As we know, people are shopping earlier right now. We know that in Ireland, in Smith's toy stores before lockdown, had massive queues because people were worried that the stock's going to run out. They're worried they won't be able to get the gifts they need to in time. So people are shopping now. Don't wait to launch on Cyber Monday because you'll have missed a massive amount of your sales. Even I'm hearing ads on the radio about Christmas, and I know normally that would get people going, oh, can't talk about Christmas before Halloween, but people are kind of like, you know what, let's give us something to look forward to. So that's our first trend. People are shopping online for their first time. We know that. Elderly relatives or people who just never would have considered shopping online now really don't have a choice. So they're shopping online. And because it's their first time, this whole world is confusing and scary to them. So it's our job to make it less confusing and less scary. Things that you can do is, firstly, you want to make sure that people are reassured that it's a safe shopping system. You want to help people through the process. So something I'd recommend doing is doing a video. This is how you use my shop page, because that will really help, particularly the older users. It will really help them through the process and it will make you more trustworthy. And just make sure it's easy. Get somebody you know that may be slightly older or doesn't shop on the internet usually to follow the process and see is it intuitive. Steal ideas from Amazon. They're really good at this stuff. They make it a really easy process to buy from them. And to be honest, if people have shopped online before, it's possibly from there. So look at the ideas, look at your flow. Make sure it's easy for people. When people aren't buying online, they're doing their research online. So I was looking at it, nobody's going to be able to click and collect until the first week of December for us in Ireland if we're locked down for 6 weeks. But what you could do right now is make sure your products are there for your customers to see and give them the chance to buy it now or reserve it now and collect after lockdown. So they know they've got that product reserved. You might want to take a deposit, but this is really for people that don't want to pay online. So if they're further than 5 kilometers away from your shop and they haven't got a reason to actually leave, they can't click and collect. Whereas you could store up those products knowing that they're sold and have them ready for people to collect at a later date. The number of US shoppers that will shop from a small business or a business for the first time this year is 77%. 77%. So if people are shopping from you for the first time, one, you want to make it a brilliant experience. If this is their first time, you want them to come back. You want them to tell their friends. So make it a really great experience from beginning to end. Make sure you're following up with dispatch information. If something is delayed, let them know. Make sure your communication is flawless. And then I don't know if you watched the Fabulous Festive Marketing Masterclass, but if you did, do something like Sharon did from Your Style, Your Story. She has exceptional packaging. When people get it, they love to take photos. They like to tell their friends about it. And it's going to make them want to buy something like that for themselves again. So just think about that. If you're getting them for the first time, make sure you don't waste that opportunity to make them a lifetime customer. And finally, my final stat, 66% of US customers who plan to shop this holiday season say they will shop more at small and local businesses. So that is most of us and most of the people that we help. It's good news for us, I think, this year. I think small businesses are going to see a big boost.